When the 2025 election in Canada took place earlier this year, as a New Democrat, obviously, I was very disappointed to see us reduced to 7 seats and about 6.5% of the vote. However, I could understand in most instances, because people more often than not vote out of fear, that the priority was to make damn sure that the ilk of whither and the ilk of the Conservative Party of Canada in its present state was not to be handed the reins of power. So I was, in quotation marks, a supporter of Mark Carney in the beginning. I must say, I like the gentleman's personality, I like his capacity for self-deprecation, his sense of humor, but I'm becoming increasingly aware that his economics are very, very conservative. And the Conservatives may have a right in feeling bitterly triumphant that although they didn't get into power, they got a lot of what they wanted. Wiping out the carbon tax and justifying the super so-called salaries of certain committee heads and, talking quickly about how much money we can give to the cause of Ukraine, which is a good cause, but then saying that there are going to be hard choices, and who, Prime Minister, is going to have to take these hard choices. The way you've set it up, it looks like we're going to have another era where the rich will get richer and the rest of us will be poorer or at best flat in our economic situation. The other thing is also that you have some sleight of hand that we don't know. You talk tough in the beginning about Trump, and yes, you have made some deals to try and extract Canada from the grip of its reliance on the United States, and that's good. But it does seem that you're making a lot of concessions to Trump. You're saying no counter punches to what he does. So the initial enthusiasm for you, at least as somebody who could keep Canada from turning right, is now dissipating for obvious reasons. I don't hear you say anything about taxing the wealthy as a means of filling the coffers of education, pensions, employment, health service, the general housing, the general public services. You talk about using the government for housing, but what do you mean, using the government to subsidize private investors for housing? There are two issues. One, the increasing difficulty of owning a home, but there's another issue, which is publicly subsidized housing. And Canada did a hell of a lot better in this regard when it had a much higher percentage of publicly financed housing. But it doesn't sound to me like when you say, well, the government's going to intervene, that sounded promising. But it does seem to me that based on the other things you're saying, that government is simply going to give a push for private enterprise to build homes. So I think at the moment that you are moving toward a very, very bad record. I just hope that people who voted New Democratic will return to the New Democratic Party, and that the New Democratic Party will find a leader in time to come who will be able to communicate with people, and there's going to have to be some change. It's not enough simply to keep out the Conservatives. There has to be something positive, and that does not seem to be coming at the moment.